Hi guys, how you guys doing? My name is Patrick Moore. I work here in the Friedrich Aquarium. Some of you guys were watching yesterday as we were talking about some of our seahorses. We talked about one of them was holding eggs yesterday and looked like he was ready to go. You guys were talking to Nelson. Well, if you guys are watching again today, you'll see up here at the top, we have newborn seahorses. There they are all floating up at the top. They were born at about 8 a.m. this morning, not long after us keepers got here. They usually do about approximately 200 to 300 births per session. And so these guys are very new to the world and exploring their exhibit. So this happens usually about maybe once a week, once every other week. We have 8 adult seahorses in here, 4 males and 4 females. We're gonna look now at another one of our males. And this guy is actually also holding eggs as well. So if you can see, he's got a bit of a pouch in there. It's a little hard to see. But just like our other guy was yesterday, him and his mate reproduced usually about a month ago. It usually takes about a month for the eggs to fully develop after breeding. Usually the way it'll work is the male and the female will pair up. The female will deposit her eggs into the male's pouch, where the male will then combine them with his sperm, and they will begin developing into newborn seahorses. They'll stay in the pouch for, again, about a month, where they will hatch out of their eggs inside the pouch. And then when the male is ready, he will open up the pouch and release all of the newborns out into the environment. And so if you look down here, occasionally some of the eggs will fall out of the pouch. And that's what these actually are here down on the sand. These they look like little orange spheres down here. And so that's what the eggs look like when they're put into the pouch right before they're fertilized. And so normally what we do when we have newborn seahorses like this is we'll let them hang out on the exhibit for usually a few hours, and then later on in the day, we'll collect them up and we'll put them in a separate tank so that we can take care of them more specifically and give them the proper food and care that they deserve. Again, these are line seahorses. These are the most common seahorse species in the world. You can find them on most temperate coasts. So that's anywhere where the water is pretty warm and be fun to swim in. Usually you can find them on the coasts of both coasts of North America and the coasts of Africa and Asia as well. So these are our babies. We usually refer to them as Seahorse Fry or Seahorse juveniles. So there's another pair there, 2 seahorses who are courting. One thing that is interesting about this particular species of seahorses is when they're preparing to mate, they'll start out by hanging out together a lot, sort of like how humans do. But they will develop a bond over time. They will spend a lot of time together feeding and defending each other. And then when the time is right, they will mate, and the female will insert the eggs into the pouch and begin the process. So we're gonna give you guys one more shot of our newborn lined seahorses up here. These guys were born at 8 a.m. this morning. Not long after us keepers got in here to start looking after them. There's about approximately 200 of these guys in the exhibit right now. And later on in the day, these guys will be moved to their own tank so that we can give better care and feeding to these guys.
Patrick, we do have a question. Michelle is wondering, do the fish eat the seahorses?
So that is something that we occasionally have to deal with. You may have seen an orange fish in here swimming around. That he does occasionally eat some of the seahorse juveniles. This is not something unique to this tank. This is something that seahorses have to deal with, honestly, much more often in the wild than they do in our tank here. And again, these guys were born at approximately 8 a.m. this morning. Usually they're born much earlier in the morning, usually around between 3 and 5 a.m. is average. In which case, keepers usually aren't here to look after them.
A few people would like to know how big these babies are.
So these babies, so it is a little hard to tell for scaling, but these guys are about ½ an inch long, fully extended. And so they honestly usually are a little smaller than that with their tails curled up. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in and learning about some of our newborn seahorses. I hope you guys have a good one and are staying safe.